Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today we have an update. It's not like an official patch update, but a heap of balancing changes to Escape from Tarkov. And I'm going to go through them nice and quickly and then talk about some of the other stuff going on in Tarkov. So, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so starting off, I just want to show you guys the notes that I had with my conversation with Nikita. They were literally written from you guys. Like, I went to both Twitter, Reddit, and also I did a community post on YouTube, which has like 700 comments on it as well. And I literally went through every single comment. Like, I didn't skip any of them, and I tried to make it so it fit in one of all the categories that I started to develop and gave everyone a voice. This was not my thoughts, my opinions, what I thought that should happen with Escape from Tarkov. There's only one single thing that you will find that wasn't on a Reddit post thread or Twitter post and that I actually added to this list, and that was the wanting to poll the players from inside the game like RuneScape. That was the only one I added myself. Everything else was from you guys. So that's why you'll see literally random stuff like, hey, how about the M249 saw, the M82 Barrett? That's what you guys asked for. That's what you guys wanted. Someone asked about crunchy or smooth peanut butter. You know, like, I literally just went through every single one of your lists. So there was some actual negative feedback of people saying, hey, Pestyly's only trying to change the game to his own and all that kind of stuff. Like, literally, like, I don't really care, but I just thought I'd put it out there that this was all your stuff. So if you didn't actually post on one of those like 3 places that you could have had the conversation, that's on you. So if you wanted your point brought up and it wasn't, I'm sorry. I really wish I could have brought it up for you, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. And on top of that, last but not least about this one topic is, I'm not trying to see myself as some sort of like savior or anything. I just wanted everyone to have a voice, someone to have an opportunity to sit down and talk with Nikita, and then hopefully make the game better for everyone. So if you like the changes, awesome. If you didn't like the changes, awesome. I don't really care. It's all about just everyone having a voice. And as I said multiple times during the interview, do whatever you want with this information, Nikita. I don't really care. I'm just letting you know. Like, I'm the one handing out the cigarettes, and you can smoke them if you want. So probably a bad analogy, but moving on. So some of the balances changes. I'll talk about the first bit first, because that all came from the interview. New balance changes to Escape from Tarkov. Adjusted the loot spawns on streets, increasing the chance of rare loot spawning in locked rooms and decreasing it in other areas. To give a little bit of information on how loot works in Escape from Tarkov, there's like all the different little loot locations throughout a map, like all the places that stuff can spawn. Then there's what's called a loot multiplier. This is a hidden value for each of the maps. Now, from that, BSG can make it so it spawns more loot in certain areas, blah, 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 blah. What they have done is during or after that last interview, when I said the loot on streets is just well above every other map, it was pretty obvious that a lot of communication around the whole, you know, Reddit and just streamers and everyone saying that streets had been nerfed, right? And now streets have actually had a change, being the fact that they've made better loot inside the locked rooms, and then obviously they've decreased it outside those areas. So that's been put in place. So I don't know if that means after what happened before, they've actually increased it again. Most likely they have, but that's at least you know what has happened and how the actual loot works in Escape from Tarkov. Next, they added a chance to spawn the Terror Group blue folders materials at various facilities related to Terror Group. Now, this doesn't just mean on streets. There's the Terror Group office area. This could also mean in labs. They've actually added, like, you know, extra spawns and that for there. But the blue folder was also brought up during the interview because people were, you know, selling it for 30, 40 million, and they just needed more spawns. So the price could actually skew down a little bit because it's like impossible to find one almost. Now, they adjusted the loot on interchange at the Ultra Medical Storage as well as the Kiva Arm Store. Added a chance to spawn ballistic plates and relevant equipment. So Ultra Medical is up near Tech Light. This one used to be like the place to run on interchange. Power would go on and everyone would sprint there because it was like, I'd say like a 1 in 2 chance of getting a LEDX, and sometimes you get double LEDXs in there. I think during my Tarky Awards that I did like a long time back, there was a triple LEDX in there. So just to give perspective, we had a couple of clips back then where you could get 3 LEDXs in the Ultra Medical room. And then they nerfed the shit out of it, and then no one was getting anything good. So to give perspective, people were excited to have Ultra Medical have better loot. Hopefully it has LEDXs in there again. Keeper Arms can also have a Reaper Thermal. It used to not it wasn't a very high spawn chance, but people would go there enough to actually find one, you know? So this is what people have been asking for, is to increase the loot in these areas. I personally, if this is me putting my own 2 cents in there, I would actually like every single locked room to have a buff and leave the rest of the maps to not, you know, to where they're at. So then that way, like certain areas would just have better chances of getting better loot. Like the random rooms in dorms that have locked keys, maybe just put a rare spawn in there every now and then. So there's a chance to actually find stuff, or even some stuff in like resort or other maps, streets and that. So yeah, make it so keys are actually have a little bit more value, because at the moment, everything kind of is a bit lackluster. Adjusted the loot in the room opened with the rusted bloody key on streets of Tarkov. So this is also brought up during the conversation with Nikita, because you'd go in there and there would be no loot in there at all. And people were saying that obviously they stopped it because of people vacuum cleaning it or whatever it's called. But yeah, hopefully the loot's better in there now. Improved the PMC spawns on reserve to avoid spawning in exposed areas. So I brought this up during the conversation because I know Jesse Kazan brought it up, but there's been multiple people saying you can literally take like 2 steps, camp and then aim down a certain location on reserve, and you are looking at someone else spawning in. So this was important so people just didn't die off spawn. So good improvement there. Now, added new barters for the following items. Now this, I asked Nikita to do about 6 weeks ago. This has nothing to do with like the main part of playing the game. Besides the fact that early what, a lot of these items will sell for up to like 1 million rubles on the flea market because they're needed for gunsmith. And so you'll be able to use these barter trades to get these items early what, and not have to pay exuberant amount of prices, like 400,000 for like a, I don't know, like a MP133 shotgun or some crap, because that's how much that kind of stuff goes for. So I asked for these barter trades to be added for the hardcore playthrough that I do. So what I do is I actually do a playthrough of Escape from Tarkov where I don't use the flea market at all. The only thing I do from traders is barters, and I have to find everything else in raid. So this is to help it so I can go all the way to Kappa, but also I am trying to organize an event next month. So there'll be a few thousand people as like a trial event. I spoke about this during the interview as well. A trial event, kind of like if you ever played at Path of Exile, like a gauntlet at the end of the league. I kind of want to try and put that together with Battlestate Games. And therefore a few thousand people can try out this whole hardcore playthrough and on a private server with just other people playing hardcore. And these barter trades would help people get to the gunsmith stuff being done. If anyone wants to play a hardcore playthrough, you can check it out on my YouTube channel, or you can head over to my live stream on Twitch and do ! rules and that, but all the information's out there. And that's all I have for that one. Last but not least, the Pestily.com is back up with the new merch. I have put up to my merch store for the first time in about 2 years. And if you want to support me and the team, buy some merch, and do appreciate it. I am trying to actually send thank you messages to every single person, because every time someone buys something, I get a notification on my phone, and I'm sending messages back, little videos saying thank you. So trying my best to get through everyone. I've already done a heap so far, but I'll get through the rest of that in the next couple of days. And do appreciate all the support you guys give. If you like this video, make sure you like and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe button, help me get to the 1 million subs. And lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.